Welcome back to Love True Insight. Don't forget to subscribe. Today's explainer is a bit different. I'm stepping in as a mentor, speaking directly to you older guys out there who are navigating relationships with younger women and wanting to do it with dignity and quiet confidence. This one is built specifically for you. We're going to break down the psychology and stoic wisdom from our curated sources to show you exactly how to leverage your life experience correctly and why true maturity is absolutely your greatest asset. Now, I know it's incredibly easy to feel like you're losing a step when you're out there navigating modern dating. But by the end of our time together today, you're going to see exactly why your lived experience isn't some sort of handicap. Actually, it's the most powerful tool you possess. So let's kick things off with a pretty heavy question. Is your age a liability, or is it actually your greatest advantage? It's completely normal to feel this anxious urge to act young or to chase validation when a younger woman brings all that fresh, vibrant energy into your life. The modern dating landscape can feel chaotic, right? And you might secretly fear that your age is a liability, which pushes you to try and compete with guys in their 20s, completely on their terms. But what if I told you that exact fear is literally the only thing standing in the way of realizing your age is actually your greatest advantage? Okay, let's really dive into this. The myth we're constantly fed by society is that an older man has to rely on a flashy lifestyle, extreme wealth, or pretending to be 25 again to create attraction. Just think about the movies and the pop culture conditioning we've all grown up with. These media tropes basically tell older men they need a bright red sports car and endless nightclub stamina just to compete. It completely sets you up for failure. But the reality, drawn directly from the research in our sources, is a total 180. Emotional maturity and composure are what actually create genuine attraction. True magnetism doesn't come from relying on your status or exhausting yourself trying to keep up with 20-something energy. It stems from grounded self-control and knowing exactly who you are. That brings us to Section 1, behaviors that destroy attraction. To really figure out how to project that maturity, we first have to look at the mistakes to avoid. Specifically, the quiet, subtle mistakes guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s tend to make when a younger woman shifts their equilibrium. Let's group these subtle insecurity signals into two main buckets to understand why they absolutely kill attraction. First up, we have identity shifting. This is when you try to act her age, suddenly revamp your entire wardrobe, or awkwardly adopt her generation's slang. Honestly, it doesn't make you look relatable. It just makes you look completely ungrounded. Second, we have overinvestment. And guys, this is a massive one. Becoming her emotional support system. If you start acting like her personal therapist, absorbing all her chaotic daily drama, you literally destroy the very stability she was drawn to in the first place. The sources emphasize that seeking her validation, trying way too hard to impress her, or mentally building a future together before she's even committed completely ruins your dynamic. You drop from being a grounded leader into an anxious performer. Moving into Section 2, what she actually values. So if chasing and performing are out, what actually works? Let's pivot to what psychological research says about a woman's evolving needs. This breakdown brilliantly illustrates how a woman's neurological development totally dictates her needs. Look at the progression. In her early 20s, she's deep in an exploration phase. She wants excitement and novelty. By her late 20s, she shifts into evaluation, looking for stability. But as she matures into the authenticity stage, she's not looking for a guy to hit the clubs with every single night. She wants someone who provides a calm harbor after a chaotic day. The absolute most crucial takeaway for you is this. Younger women who are drawn to maturity want a man who can handle complexity without falling apart. They aren't looking for a boy playing games. They're looking for the emotional intelligence that only comes from lived experience. Which leads right into Section 3, mastering outcome independence. This is the absolute core philosophy you need to project calm and kill any hint of neediness. It's a concept called outcome independence. Our sources define this as projecting calm satisfaction with your life and fully separating your self-worth from someone else's validation or the relationship's ultimate result. Think of it kind of like a seasoned pilot flying a commercial jet through heavy turbulence. You're highly capable, focused, and totally satisfied with your skills and your destination, regardless of the temporary bumps along the way. This mindset is the ultimate antidote to desperation. When you detach your self-worth from her approval, you stop your stress hormones from spiking. You remain incredibly relaxed, and it's that exact lack of neediness that naturally draws genuine interest. When you truly embrace outcome independence, your entire energy shifts. You stop chasing. You start attracting. Just imagine the pure anxiety of waiting for a text message. The chasing mindset has you staring at your phone, agonizing over why she hasn't replied for 3 hours, fighting that desperate urge to double text. The attracting mindset,
You're at the gym, or you're reading a great book, or you're crushing it at your business. You let her reach out when she's ready. You completely stop trying to prove your desirability, and instead, you become a grounded leader. You aren't competing with younger guys anymore. You're standing in a league of your own, deeply comfortable in your own skin.
Let's look at section 4, cultivating practical mastery. How do we take this from a philosophy to actual reality? Let's talk about the daily practices that build the emotional stability younger women actually crave. Our sources highlight 3 powerful daily exercises for self-control. Number 1, pause and observe before reacting to chaos. When she tests you or her mood just unexpectedly shifts, don't react impulsively. Just take a breath. Number 2, listen actively to understand, not to respond. We're going to dig a bit deeper into that one in just a second. And number 3, maintain firm boundaries to avoid being an emotional crutch. Pausing during moments of uncertainty and flat out refusing to carry all of her emotional baggage creates profound respect. It shows you're an equal partner, not a renovation project, and definitely not a dumping ground for her stress. To really hammer home that second step, we can look back to some ancient wisdom. The philosopher Epictetus said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Active listening is a literal superpower. And frankly, this is where so many men fail, mostly because of our innate male instinct to fix problems. When she vents to you, you naturally want to offer a quick solution so she's happy again, right? But resisting that urge and simply saying, I understand why that's frustrating, is a massive display of mature restraint. Giving her your undivided, non-judgmental attention deepens attraction way more than any flashy pickup line ever could. That brings us to section 5, the power of stoic calm. Let's explore how inner tranquility and stoic principles directly apply to modern dating, especially when your character gets tested. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Applying this to your dating life keeps you from projecting some fantasy future onto a younger woman. It allows you to keep your composure, stay fully grounded, and just enjoy the present connection for exactly what it is. You can enjoy the romance without secretly planning out your matching retirement homes right after the 3rd date. Enjoy the moment without forcing a commitment before it's naturally ready. The Stoics actually had a word for the state. They called it ataraxia, an inner tranquility that remains totally unshaken by external chaos. Practicing this makes you the rock in her storm. When her emotions fluctuate, you remain incredibly steady. You don't raise your voice, you don't get defensive, and you definitely never get passive-aggressive. This signals that you are a rare, highly safe presence that she can completely rely on. And to a woman seeking maturity, that is deeply, deeply attractive. All right, section 6, strength through genuine detachment. Let's move to the final and maybe the most powerful transformation we pulled from the sources, choosing your own peace over chaotic mind games. Consider the profound truth captured here by Marcus Aurelius. This brilliantly illustrates how true masculine power is simply stepping back and protecting your own peace when you feel unvalued. You can't control her actions, her mixed signals, or her silence. If she pulls away, that's an outside event. But you have absolute power over your own mind, and exactly how you choose to respond to that distance. When you practice detachment, it dramatically reinforces your personal value. Stepping back instantly stops the toxic cycle of over-explaining yourself to someone who isn't even fully listening. It reclaims your time, your energy, and your self-respect. Resources you can pour right back into your own life and passions. Plus, pulling back creates genuine curiosity in her mind. It proves your life is full and purposeful completely on its own. By not fighting for attention, your silence speaks infinitely louder and commands way more respect than your words ever could. And this is the ultimate realization. Just imagine yourself standing in your own light, smiling, focused, and completely at peace with who you are and what you've built over your life. Take a second to really internalize this. You don't need her validation to be complete. When you stop handing your peace over to someone who doesn't respect it and you fully embrace your own worth, your absence of need actually becomes the most attractive thing you can possibly wear. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought based on everything we've explored in this explainer. Will you continue to chase validation, or will you stand still in your own power? Leverage your life experience correctly, guys, master your own emotional independence, and you'll find that genuine respect and true attraction follow naturally. Thank you for joining me, and keep cultivating that quiet strength.